All right, everybody. We are back on the air with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Jolt, chief host of the show, and I'm joined by none other than my co-host, Avira.
Hey everyone, hope you're having a fantastic night.
Unless you live in New York or somewhere that's between in the peak
Oh
of
god,
the
no, New York. Oh, it's bad here. It's oh my goodness.
yeah. Get away from here fast
well,
if you can.
day 5 for me under quarantine in the house, so I'm good. I'm good here.
All right. Next on the show, Beowulf.
Jack Low Trades, Master of None. Person who lives in middle of absolutely nowhere and doesn't have to worry about the virus at the moment.
The country boys will inherit the nation.
Basically, like you want the militia's ready.
You want all the food production, they'll be taking care of you.
I'm set. Like, I got cattle. It's fine.
Okay.
Next on the show is Voltage.
Hello.
Good to have you back again.
Yes, it's nice to be back.
Next on the show, it's been a long time since we've had you back on the show, is Cross.
Day 2, under shelter in place. My stuffed animals are talking, and apparently they have names.
Hey, if you're going insane, let us know so you can break you out of the shell.
Yeah, will do. I'll get right on that.
I don't know, if you want to start scrolling a diary, this is day 3, day 4 under quarantine.
Oh my god.
Oh well. And last on the panel is Earth's Power.
Hello, everybody. I'm 3 weeks in quarantine, so
Oh, you got a head
Yeah.
start.
yeah, I guess in Jersey we got a head start for some reason. So
Hey, at least you can celebrate the fact that the box office is pulling in 0 figures from, the opening weekends.
yeah, movies and whatnot. Yeah, so
Wait, you're a Jersey boy?
yeah, I'm a Jersey boy.
What county?
Essex County.
Essex. Okay, I'm down in Gloucester.
Okay, cool.
All right, so let's start with the namesake of this episode and probably the greatest cluster you can see for all the right reasons and all the wrong and not so right reasons. You know what that is? A recently launched game that everyone was hyped for, Animal Crossing: New Horizons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Choo-choo, train wreck, inbound.
Now, here's a dumb
Yes.
question, because I see a lot of people, they're playing on the Nintendo DS. Is that the only platform it's available on?
No, it's on the Nintendo Switch.
The Switch.
It is a
Oh.
new game after all, so But here we go. Animal Crossing: New Horizons. For some of the wrong reasons, it's been derided because there's been some politically correct references in said
Oh
title.
gosh, cringe.
And first of all, they say you can choose your style. Do you want to look like this or that? And does it say, do you want to be a boy or a girl?
Okay. How is this controversial? It shouldn't be.
Because there's not a third option.
Well, there is no third option.
There is in all the political activists, though.
It doesn't
They have a third
specify
option.
male or
There's
female,
a fourth
though.
option. There's a fifth option. Don't you know this?
Choose your
God.
style: short hair or long hair. Get over it.
Yeah, that's what I see.
This is
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah,
Where's
and,
the, where's the purple hair?
right? Like,
No,
Here's the
where's
thing.
the
That's
poison
the next-
dart frog colored hair?
That's the next.
Where's my character Snowflake?
Do you have to pay for the DLC?
DLC.
Hold up, can we just take a minute to appreciate that desktop background that I'm looking at that's hiding behind this article? Is that Mad Max?
it sure looks like it. to some
Mad
degree.
Max on the left, on the right, it looks like
Metal Gear Solid?
Solid Snake.
Solid Snake, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so in that sense, though, the developers say, New Horizons' flexible nature extends to character customization. Clothing items and hairstyles aren't restricted by gender. This level of fine-tuning your character is not just about gender, but relates to the team's overall feeling that society is shifting to valuing a lot of people's different identities. What? What?
Oh man.
Yeah, it sounds dumb until you factor in what their target audience is, and in that sense, it does make sense.
Oh yeah, they're just pandering to the Starbucks feminists.
They're pandering to the people who don't have anything going for their lives.
It's not
where
even
their
the-
gender
it's not even the
identity is their
feminists.
personality.
Yeah, the same people who got mad at the Tracer thing.
I mean, here's the thing.
Look at somebody's butt.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing. This is only applied to the English version of the game. In Japanese, it would say, boy, girl, and all those designations for.
No, well, Japan doesn't have the same culture
Literally,
that we do.
the only change they did was just not include boy and girl. They're literally the exact same. And you can tell they're the exact same. It's a boy or girl. Just they don't have a label placed upon them, so therefore it is politically correct.
Oh my goodness, what a world!
Yeah, but of course we're not. I mean, there's still a lot more of the gendered stuff, and there's and then there's more to the Animal Crossing cluster. Yes, because there happens to be a lesbian reference to it, and Animal Crossing is a game for all ages, mind you.
Is it kind of like The Sims?
Well,
No idea.
I suppose you
never
could
played the
say.
game.
I mean,
So these characters are quote unquote genderless because they don't want to offend people's gender identities, and then in the next breath they got here a lesbian reference. That seems a little contradictory.
Well, I mean, it's
Very.
wanting to shove political activism down everyone's throats, whether they want it or not.
Yeah, but
yeah,
that's
it
a good
doesn't
point,
make
though.
sense.
No, it doesn't.
You
Yeah.
can't
Said
have a
that
gender.
SJWs make sense.
See, I had a person like this when I was back at my before I transferred from one college to the next. There was a student in one of my classes who literally would never use girlfriend boyfriend. It was always partner. Every part of her language was genderless, and I'm like, how do you? When were you exposed to that line of thought? You have to make an effort to do that, and I don't understand where it comes from. It's pointless.
Well, that term's been
Much
around
time
for a
on Tumblr.
while.
That's the first time I heard it.
Yeah,
2
no.
years
When I was in college and high school, and this was back in like the early, well, not the early, but like the late 2000s, early 2010s. Like, it wasn't something you heard all that often, but it was a term that was out there.
so we went to get to the Animal Crossing reference. Yes, so it says in this segment, we're talking about the comics. The character says, "My favorite is about the shred-tastic princess of rocketboarding and her true love, the princess of explosions."
The
Probably should have done
princess
that in a girly voice.
of explosions.
It
Oh,
sounds
that's
like she's a
good.
terrorist.
The princess of explosions. Yeah, sure.
and they're making a big deal about this. Why? To get clicks.
This is really strange.
I mean, Animal Crossing is a game for all ages to begin with.
hmm
Which means a lot of children can be exposed to this or whatever.
Wait. Look at the line in this article. It says, "Oh, you didn't know? That's right. Lesbianism is a fetish, just like furrydom."
Oh wow.
Okay.
I mean, look.
They said that.
Cringe.
I mean, look. Here's the thing. I know
Yikes.
the writers at One Angry Gamer literally love to piss on furries and something. But apparently, we wrote on the street that he might actually be, be a total hypocrite.
They just called being a lesbian a fetish. Dude.
I mean, it depends on the perspective. If you are the girl, then it's the way you swing. But if you're an outsider looking in, then it could be seen as a fetish.
This is
It's
weird.
Actually-
wordplay.
You could argue that this thing is, a logical fallacy because some of the characters in Animal Crossing are anthropomorphized, and ergo, that's when the logic trip falls in.
I just can't believe you said that. That's really strange. Lesbian is being... That's a fetish, just like furries. Okay. Okay, there.
Says who? Says who?
Well,
No, it says no one.
I
Jesus
guess
Christ. Yeah, I mean-
that's acceptable to say. I guess.
There's some mental gymnastics going on that my brain can't process.
No.
I mean,
Oh,
this,
you ain't alone on that one.
this is what happens when a 4chan retard spends way too much time on the internet, which is what precisely the person who authored that article is.
I mean, I thought the internet was supposed to red pill you, not blue pill you.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what pills he was taking.
Jesus
Not
should
good
be
ones.
sharing.
I don't know. They
Okay.
might mix both of the pills and you got them different.
I mean, I think there was a time when we had all the pills on the internet. We had like red pill, blue pill, bog pill, all the pills you could take, but don't overdose
Yeah.
on pills, kiddos.
Yep.
Wow, that's a trip. Trying to wrap your head around that. Yeah.
Yeah. What the heck?
Yeah. But unfortunately, I do have one more wrong reason why Animal Cluster was a cluster. And they had to pick, of all the people, if you were to advertise, run a promotional campaign for for Animal Crossing, which celebrity would you pick?
That's
I would
a
probably
really good
choose-
question because
Yeah.
I can't think of any.
I mean,
I would probably say maybe Majera Strawberry. I don't know. Maybe it's
You
that's
stole my idea.
I don't
Wow.
know. Maybe that's. I just thought that was makes sense because he's a furry and he's kind of popular. So
Um,
Too bad.
oh, this is tough.
Yeah. You don't have to answer that question. That was purely rhetorical. So if you didn't
Oh.
notice that. But
Oh,
you'll
okay.
never guess who Nintendo settled with.
oh
Who?
gosh, I hope it's not what
Brie
I think it
Larson,
is.
Why?
Oh,
No,
the
she's
head
like the worst
actor for
person in the
Captain
world.
Marvel.
Why?
oh,
No,
why?
she's
Oh
terrible.
boy.
good-
Well,
So-
it makes me not want to buy a Nintendo product. Okay.
I,
Well,
I
Nintendo
was-
isn't made for you.
Oh
I
gosh.
was considering getting a Switch, and now this is like just cringe level, and I like.
Yeah, I'm not getting a Switch.
You're,
You know-
you're trying to be popular and say I'm a gamer, and it just comes across as how do you do, fellow kid?
At least they didn't choose Anisa Sarkeesian.
Well, if that wasn't Nita Sarkeesian, that would literally, Nintendo would
What is-
literally do what Marvel did, and that was commit corporate suicide.
Yep, Bo can be broke.
It would have been honestly, it would have been less cringy if it was like Harrison Ford or what's another
Like Mark
older
Hamill?
actor actress.
Mark
Yeah,
Hamill is pretty good.
That or I can't think of anyone else. Like it would have been less cringy because then it would have been like, oh hey, that's kind of cool because I view them as the nerdy type because they're around nerdier fandoms.
How about
And-
Adam Savage from MythBusters? He's pretty cool.
Yo,
Yeah.
That'd be
I'd,
cool.
Yeah, that guy.
I'd probably
he-
buy some merchandise if
Yeah,
if he
right?
was like the person
Yeah.
because he makes really cool cosplay stuff.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he makes
like
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 this
models and
magic.
stuff.
especially if he like signed something, like you got like there was like a limited edition where they had like he signed it or something.
Yeah, like 200 Switches they were giving out, or something. Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be cool. Yeah.
And now we got Brie Larson.
Now,
Yay.
now we got
Yeah.
this wasn't made for you.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, these games weren't made for you, bitch.
And here's the thing
Alright.
too. I mean, Brie Larson says she's got a history of playing it since the GameCube days, and so on and so on.
Oh gosh.
But the worst part
Doubt
is,
it.
if there was an Animal Crossing movie, Brie Larson would want to star in it.
Oh gosh. Please no.
Please no. Please just go away.
No, you've already ruined that. And does anybody remember? And this may be a US only thing, but the Nissan Motor Corporation also got Brie Larson to star in an advertisement.
What?
Oh boy.
Well, Nissan sucks, so it's only a matter of time before they go bankrupt.
Oof. Throwing some shade at Nissan. Okay.
That's like trying to ask Chris Chan to do a Sonic commercial. No, thank you.
Nissan's
No.
gotten pretty mediocre at building cars in the last 10 years, so
Yeah.
They
And
went
of all
really
this, you know,
downhill when they started with the Prius.
They could have, done the commercial without needing Brie Larson. It was that simple.
Yeah, now it's just an expense that they have to expend.
It's
Unnecessary.
literally negative returns, my dudes. That's what it is.
You called someone with a big name, and they came with an equally big price tag. Are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah, well, I guess so. That's trendy now.
I don't understand why.
Yeah.
It's-
Oh, it's 2020. Anything goes.
Oh,
man.
I know why. It's because we started having people who thought it was be popular to lick toilet seats.
Oh my!
Oh god. Oh god.
Yep. This is the world we live in today. It's pretty
I
bonkers.
never ever wanted to choke on something more than I do right now. Hearing this,
Oh, what?
I don't know.
Okay.
You don't want to be on the show.
no,
Well, look-
no.
Influencer
I-
culture was a mistake, is what he's saying.
Okay.
I don't
Yes.
want a Nintendo Switch anymore. Yeah, well, I had high hopes for Nintendo being the savior of gaming. I really did.
And then they did this. And then they're just like, yeah, well, I'm going to point this gun at the side of my head and pull the trigger until I can't feel feelings anymore.
Yeah, that might work.
That shouldn't take too long.
I think didn't Nintendo like their entire headquarters is like they're all working from home now. I think they did.
I
that
mean,
a couple weeks
kind of
ago.
everyone is. Unless
Yeah.
you're...
Yeah, I mean,
like,
Sega's done that now.
smaller corporation.
Sega's gotten people to work from home, and now Nintendo's following suit.
Wow.
All right. So, but there is one good piece of weird for the Animal Crossing cluster. Last one, I promise. Nothing.
Okay.
Okay, this is it. There's a Medium blog that says Animal Crossing, New Horizons, and Japanese colonialism.
Wait, what?
Authored by
What?
Kazuma Hashimoto.
I feel this is an extremely clickbaity title.
Yeah,
It
Japanese
is.
colonialism? What?
And it's written by a Japanese author, not surprise, but it's not written by a Western white author, which is a surprising bit. So
Okay.
what the fuck?
Have my interest.
What the fuck?
What's he talking about? But
If
This
you
is
don't
like-
know what Animal Crossing is, something. You play as a villager who gets to inhabit a deserted island in the middle of nowhere, discovering everything it has to offer. You build a house, so on. It's a life simulator. Well, and then this is where they get into the crazy take, the mental gymnastics. Okay, there are numerous islands that make up Japan today, but the islands I'm going to talk specifically about are Hokkaido and okay, there we go, indigenous peoples.
okay. Oh no. What?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. There's a load of obscure things with the Japanese thing that I may have to ask my Japanese coworker about this. See if she knows what's up. Other than that, but look, something as
The
As-
Ainu people are banned from using their language, forced to abandon traditional cultures and techniques. Wait, so what does this have to do with the game, though? Are they
Yeah.
comparing like being on an island to being in Japan? Like that's a stretch.
I mean, I don't even know if Japan's
Or
banned all
mental
the-
gymnastics that I cannot compute because I am a simple man.
Yes, I have the mind. I
Uh-huh.
too have the mind of a peasant and don't even know half the Japanese stuff. So,
I feel this is going to be spun sometime in the future that it's going to be cultural appropriation to play Animal Crossing.
Maybe.
I'm so surprised that they didn't even blame USness for colonizing, the islands that we did. Like,
Like the
Eh?
Philippines, Guam, Midway, all those
yeah,
places.
Hawaii.
The Philippines, like okay. Yeah, I
Yeah, you
guess-
blame that on the Spaniards, man.
Yeah, sure.
Except the Spaniards won't apologize for it. Then when they told, then they conquistador Mexico.
No, they don't care. Wow, this is crazy. So the Japanese government is pushing ahead with their relocation of military. Wait, so what does that have to do with the game, though? I don't understand.
It's someone relating vague details in the game to real life events, I'm guessing.
Here's the
Oh.
part, like, this is the segment, wondering what this has to do with New Horizons. Whether or not the intent was made to invoke the spirit of colonialism in a game bursting with cheerful personality. Yeah, it is important to understand Japan's history of colonial rule, how it has impacted indigenous people.
Okay, well,
Hmm.
so that's happening.
But
Why
at
are
least
people never happy with anything? Why can't we just have this?
I've stopped just worrying about that and worried about how people twist their brains into such mannerisms as to find out information like this or conjure it from their own being, because it hurts my head.
Oh goodness, yeah, this is nuts.
okay, so I may have to rescind on that promise of the cluster of Animal Crossing. We just got a live comment, Aeon. It ain't just that shit either, man. It's also Peter going after the game.
Oh no,
PETA
no.
goes after
Come on.
everything. Let's be honest. PETA went after
Like Pokemon,
Farming
Digimon.
Simulator.
Yeah.
Literally
Oh,
a
really?
game about farming because they needed to show the slaughtering of animals to know how cruel farming is to animals.
Wow.
I mean, if you think
PETA
about it, Pokemon is
literally
pretty messed up,
tried
too.
to sue a company for making a game about farming, and that because they didn't show the slaughtering process, because it's not Slaughter Simulator.
And isn't Farmville just like you mostly plants in a way, not like animals?
Yeah,
and stuff?
you can build animal pens and feed your animals, and you have to maintain their diets and stuff
Okay,
very carefully. But guess
Alright.
what? PETA doesn't care.
All right, so who
Well,
wants
so
to?
people
We're
can't own
gonna
them as
read the
pets either? Like, it's
cringy,
not-
the vegan guide to Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Oh,
Bear with
God.
me. This is gonna be a stretch of. Ew.
The
Okay.
vegan guy. Oh god.
All right, is fishing in Animal Crossing vegan?
Oh,
Dun.
God.
What is this?
What is this? I knew it.
Fishing
I knew it.
is completely vegan. It's the fact that if you don't eat the fish, you don't have to worry about it.
Oh wait. We have a new thing called imitation fish, and all the fish are, they're all imitation fish, just like we have imitation meat these days.
Yeah, we'll just eat tofu. Like we'll just make tofu.
The fish are government submarines. Feel free to fish them.
Who actually gets offended by this? Like, how can this be real?
Someone
is it
who
okay?
literally lives to be offended.
Wow. You're like, oh, so unlike real fish, the fish in this game don't feel pain, but it's still harmful. What?
Oh,
It's the
Jesus
game.
Christ!
Stop this. How is it? No. What?
It's cringy.
This is
What
the
in
thing.
the
They
bonkers,
live to
man?
be offended. Like, if they don't get offended, they seek out ways to be offended. It makes no sense.
That's because it validates their own validation. That's why.
Here's the funny part too. It's disappointing that a game in which villagers from all different species coexist harmoniously with humans encourages abusive behavior towards fish and insects.
Wow.
What?
They say that like they've never smacked a mosquito before.
I know, right?
Yeah, right? Never, like, squished a spider or something?
Or
I
to
mean,
kill
come
a
on.
vulture or something. Yeah.
Yeah, or, like, sprayed for, like, ants or whatever. Okay, so it's...
Next one. Is it okay to catch bugs in Animal Crossing? Dirt, dirt.
So I'm guessing they're also against beekeepers. I would assume.
They're literally
Yes.
against playing the game. So just don't
It
play
is
the game.
okay. Yes, it's a game. It's okay to fish in a game.
Actually,
Come on
it's-
now.
Game.
I mean, if you had to make a fly swatting simulator or a mosquito slapping one, I'd totally be down for it.
Yeah, it takes
Yeah.
place in, like, Africa. You're trying to, like, stop the West Nile virus or something.
Isn't
Yeah,
there
you
a
have to
game?
cure all this malaria and so on and so on.
I'm pretty sure there's even a game based on the Bee movie, isn't there? Like the Bee movie.
Oh, the B
I
movie?
think so. I'm not- There probably is. I don't know.
All right. So, next one. Do clams feel pain?
Oh my god. It's a game. Nothing.
Isn't
Uh,
clams
see-
technically?
See, this is why people like this just need to not ever play games.
Aren't clams technically non-gender, like gender neutral, or no, like clams?
I think there's male and female clams.
Is there? Okay, not
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Is there? I'm not sure. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, I
I mean, the game's genderless. That is all. Anyway,
Yeah,
if you play the English version, you have to settle with genderless people.
Yeah, genderless.
So
I guess,
now you
yeah.
have to go get the
Genderless
Japanese
clams are
version if you
feeling
want to be
pain.
gendered.
Genderless
God.
clams.
All right.
Like I
next
know
one.
there are like certain animals in the real life that are genderless or could switch, like sponges or whatever. Like,
Cuttlefish.
Yeah, sponges. I
or
think some
cuttlefish and
jellyfish.
stuff like that. Some jellyfish
Alright.
and stuff like that.
So, next one. Should I leave the hermit crabs in the game alone?
No, no, you shouldn't.
I don't want crabs.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Why do I have all these stickers? Not enough overlays.
Wow. Look at how
We,
pretentious
we,
this
we, we need to get like a clown nose squeak like sound effect because this is the only thing I can imagine that
I
it
wish I
comes
could
out of
honestly
out of their
come, you know,
mouth.
That's a guy like that. Like clown
If
world.
when-
Yeah,
when-
that's pretty much. Yeah.
Like the amount of ridiculous comments that happen are just like, honk honk, I'm a clown and I want to prove to the world that I am.
Sounds pretty accurate.
I mean, I wish
Yeah.
I had, you know, sound effects on demand for this sort of thing, but that's neither here nor there. Next one. What would a vegan eat on a desert island?
Whatever you have.
Whatever there was. Because you
Yeah,
would
right, good
you would
point.
say, I'm not going to be a vegan anymore because I might die.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case for most vegans. They would probably quit, like
quit
because they
life.
don't want to die. Because they don't want to die. I don't know.
Yeah, all that stuff, you know, fruits, vegetables, all that stuff.
Oh
If
gosh,
the island
even
has it. Which
Next one.
might only have coconuts.
Should I build a doghouse?
This is written like the SJW's way to play Trick and Animal Crossing.
so dogs shouldn't have houses. What's the problem with that?
Wait,
Like-
why are they even playing this game? If they get offended by hermit crabs being killed on the fake beaches, I'm sorry, there's nothing going for you.
Nah,
Oh my goodness.
last one. How can you spread animal rights through Animal Crossing?
Oh gosh.
Look at this! Hashtag end speciesism veganville.
Vegan Phil. Wow.
End species is, it's funny. We use that term a lot in the furry fandom. If you're like racist towards a different species.
Yeah, we say you're speciesist.
You know what's kind of
yeah.
ironic? That like real animal rights, like they don't go after, but yet in video games they go after stuff like that. You know, you don't go after people like hunting animals for sport and stuff like that. It's kind of ironic.
And there you go. The guide to enjoy Animal Crossing in a vegan way.
Yeah,
Oh.
basically not
Don't play it.
yeah,
play
right.
it, yeah.
Don't.
Alright. Well, that's enough of that total cluster. I hope, Kraus, you want to die so that the beer virus will take you because of this.
Wait, what?
Well, you told me you wanted the beer virus to take you because Animal Crossing was a total cluster.
I don't follow. I must have said something earlier and forgot, and I'm stupid.
The beer virus. That which must not be named.
Beer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The beer.
Oh,
But that is, speaking of which, that is going to be the next segment we're going to talk into. Incoming racist term also. China virus. We've got an update for you. There's an unexpected side effect that can happen if you self-isolate. I know. There's generally good, self-isolation is probably the best way of going about, stopping you from infecting others and,
Potentially
so on.
killing
Yes.
hundreds.
But
Yeah.
there is, an unexpected side effect that that
What,
nobody,
people gaining weight,
unless
like they, I don't know.
unless you work for the media, you'll identify this. And that side effect happens to be white nationalism.
Racism.
Of course it is. Sure.
What? That's dumb.
Sure, why not?
I thought it was gonna be an educational. I guess.
Oh,
not.
hey, look, it's Pepe the Frog looking mad cute.
Aw,
Rolling
Pepe.
Stone says how social distancing could lead to a spike in white nationalism.
Wow, that's so ridiculous.
Man, I don't want to be a white nationalist while I'm in quarantine. I just want to be left alone.
But
Like,
it's
how
my
many
own
people-
thing,
people-
man.
Is racist.
Like they actually had the opportunity to make a real article from this, and they completely failed.
How can it be a good article?
Yeah,
This
those
is
look
I mean-
like
white
words.
nationalism?
No, not talking about white nationalism. They could actually chose a better subject.
Well, but how do they come
Why
up with
this
that as an?
gets clicks and views?
Like for example, they could have went the route where, because people are home, more people are probably going to gain weight and stuff because people are less active.
Well, they
You know,
also
Yeah.
But that's
could've
a
went
bad
that
thing, I
route.
mean.
Well,
thing
that's,
is
oh yeah,
that
you're right.
now
That's
people are
fashion.
freaking out because Planned Parenthood's closed down because they're like, oh, well, we're in quarantine. We banged for like 6 weeks straight while we were in quarantine, and now I'm pregnant. I want an abortion.
We're having a baby boom, whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
It's
they're
gonna
gonna
be a
call
white
the,
baby. No.
the
Yeah.
Corona babies. That's what the generation's gonna be. The next
You-
generation.
You're literally going to be called Generation Corona.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to do that.
It's gonna be the one thing that defines your life in
So
this
a
era.
side effect
Yeah.
of staying home from this, I think, would be like depression. People are just
Like
not
depression, gaining
Yeah,
weight,
they're probably sad.
being less active, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Steve.
mean, I guess what they're saying is people are like being online more than they typically are, and they're watching, I don't know, propaganda online.
Red pill.
No, this isn't happening.
No, that's not happening now. That's why I said they actually have the
Have you
opportunity.
used
to
the
fail.
internet in the last couple of days? It's slow as hell.
Yeah,
So everybody's on it.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Facebook has
yeah.
seen an uptick.
Speaking of internet, yeah, like some YouTube's had to reduce the quality of videos, Netflix too, so that everybody can have a slice of bandwidth.
Even downloading games on Xbox and stuff. has
Look,
been
here's
slow.
the thing: there's been unnecessary panic and saying that people are now blaming gamers for hogging all their bandwidth, but in truth,
Even though
it's people who
Netflix
hog.
uses like as much data as like
No,
70
Netflix uses
gamers
even
playing
more
a game.
if you watch it on 4K, especially.
Just imagine their shock when they're like, "Oh yeah, Netflix, by the way, uses 70 times what a gamer does."
Yeah.
Yep.
But I gotta watch it in 4K to justify my $5,000 4K TV that I swear my son said is stupid, but I
And
gotta
most
get
of that
it
data
anyway.
coming from game is just the download time. It doesn't count after the download time.
I'm
After
pretty
the
sure I
download time
heard
is nothing. So-
something about a proposal to like limit bandwidth use. I believe
Oh,
for
gosh.
Netflix or actually for like for the PlayStation 5.
They're trying
Yeah,
to,
they're talking about throttling it.
Yeah, they're doing
When
that
you're
with
growing it
Sony's
to, like,
PlayStation.
20 feet or whatever. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
here's the thing:
they're announcing
even
about
the
that.
most popular, the most played games like Fortnite, League of Legends, and so forth don't even use that much bandwidth
Yep.
in a single hour compared to watching. How many people sit there and watch Netflix?
Oh yeah, a lot.
It's not even like a
Overloaded.
gigabyte an hour. It's something like 200 to 500 megabytes per hour.
Yeah, per
I think it
person.
says like gigabytes. Well, 2 to 5 gigabytes per hour of bandwidth.
Well, for streaming, but I don't. Gaming.
No,
It's a
they
lot
really
less.
doesn't
Like-
even remotely come close.
Nope.
Yeah, it's like 200 to
Gaming,
500
yeah.
megabytes an hour, depending on the game.
Yeah, but think about it. If tens of millions of people are not leaving their homes and that's the only thing they're doing, the system's going to get overloaded regardless.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
millions
but
of people.
what we're getting the point across is that everyone's like, "Oh, gamers are going to cause the internet to die." No,
No.
gamers.
You are.
No, they're
It's all the
sustaining it.
people binge watching Netflix while they're stuck in their house.
Yep. Like
Yep.
Hulu, Netflix, Crunchyroll, and stuff like that. Yeah.
But I mean, the servers are doing pretty well for what they're doing so far. So
Yeah,
I mean,
they're doing their
considering they've
best.
had a gigantic, jump in demand.
Yeah, they seem to be handling it all right. Things are kind of slow, but seems to be holding up.
My internet's so garbage, I don't even notice it. So
Well, all right.
I'm surprised Discord hasn't had any damage. Well, they did like twice,
Yeah,
but like nothing insane.
Who? Seath?
Huh?
You said Seether Cord?
Discord.
Oh, Discord.
fuck that
oh,
shit.
I thought you were talking about a YouTuber. Yeah, Discord.
Yeah, I say
well,
fuck that shit.
okay. I mean, I do have a Discord. I really just don't use it. Only very rarely, for like calls and whatnot.
Yeah.
Ah, well, but to get back on the thing though, yes, this unexpected side effect has been seeing a rise in people, and they're saying that the coronavirus isn't the real threat, but rather quote unquote white nationalism.
Yeah. What?
And
How did they make
Is
that
the-
jump?
yeah, because apparently, if you're in quarantine, something, you people are either inclined to go and seek out, for extreme right wing influencers or some stupid.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
maybe it's because a lot of people don't trust the mainstream media because they've always been lying since day one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't trust the media. I mean, who actually watches CNN seriously? Who? No one.
I don't think anyone.
Well,
I just find it
MSNBC,
funny
all that crap.
that like 10, 15 years ago, everybody was talking about, oh yeah, the mainstream media, all that, they just do it for views, they don't tell you and then Trump gets into office, and then all of a sudden, oh no, the media doesn't lie. It's like, you've been saying this for the past 15 years. Everybody knew it, and now all of a sudden, it's made up nonsense.
Not an issue.
No. Yeah, like
Yeah, so they're probably worried that people are getting their news from other sources, like actual journalists, like on the field, and not these pundits talking about the economy.
Yeah, and social media
how
and
much
so
they hate
forth.
yarns, man.
Hey, I have a question that's been bugging me because somebody's kept asking me for this. Because considering that I myself am Asian, has there been an uptick in violence against Asians in your neck of the woods that you've seen? Or, like,
not
racism?
where I am, but I know there's been. I don't know if there's as many now, but like when this whole thing started, I know that there were attacks, but I don't know what's come of it now. I haven't really heard a lot about it.
I think a lot of it's died off because it's everywhere now.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say Asians, but where I used to work at my store, we had a couple from Italy that was there. Like, they just came back, and it was about 2 weeks ago. And, the woman was, like, speaking Italian, and there was a long line, and the people that were, like, behind them, they were, like, scared to, like, walk near them. They were, like, looking at them all, like, cautious. And I'm like, yeah, well, I kind of don't blame you. Now, of course, like, they were nice people and all that, but, like, they kind of got it. Like, they were being, I guess, like, socially ostracized, kind of. Like, no one wanted to go near them. It was crazy. I've never really seen that before. So, but this was, a few weeks after when it hit Italy. And, yeah, so...
The only time I ever saw... Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Like, that was it.
Yeah, no, the only time I ever saw, other than like not I shouldn't say your average, but like your one-off, like, where just people will commit hate crimes. The last time I saw a specific group of people being targeted on a scale like that was right after 9/11.
Yeah, the taxi
So-
drivers in New York City. Yeah, I remember that. People that ran like 7-Elevens and whatnot. Yeah, they were hit pretty hard.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? Though, but
I
I'd
mean,
love to
it
get
didn't-
back.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of this, how I don't know how people come up with these unexpected side effects, but the most concerning side effects are, of course, a rush to go out and having to go out and buy food, being bored, going mental because you're in self isolation.
I guess the virus wants to turn everyone into Nazis. That's its new goal. That's like a side effect.
You just become a right winger, just absolutely for no reason whatsoever. You're stuck in your house and you become a right winger because you
That's it. Yep,
you're stuck
game
in your
over.
house.
After 3
The
or 4
Coronazzi
days,
virus.
that's it. Wow.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Nazi virus.
Oh my goodness.
COVID 420.
That's the dude weed virus.
COVID.
Well, that's also Hitler's
1488.
birthday.
Oh,
yeah,
it would have
it
been
is.
called COVID 1488.
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I digress, though. But
Yeah, this is crazy.
Or better yet, just COVID-88.
yeah,
Yeah, that works.
something that's a lot less,
My humor is shot.
Ah, well,
No,
it
you
could be
could.
worse. We're not, could be worse. So, otherwise, speaking of better, better side effects while you're in quarantine, we've got some better ones. That's not just like, just like what the Rolling Stone says, because there's another news outlet out of the United States. The state media of Finland has fun ways of keeping you occupied while you're in quarantine, and they have made 30 suggestions to do so. Now, we are going to, get out there and live translate a considerable amount of these, bit by bit. So, but there is one in particular which we will get to when we get to, which is going to be, which is what's gotten all of us, 30 activities. 1. Go bake or cook with time. Okay, sure. Get ready for old age and make a musical will.
What?
A musical will, meaning people have to sing out your final wishes.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Musical.
Wow,
Yes.
Will.
The lawyer
crazy.
sits down and puts on a recording. We hear today your late grandfather's will, Symphony Number 9.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
No. Please don't do it in
In A minor or something.
Okay, you got class, I give you that. But what if you had to do it in the style of, like, say, Hairspray or Les Miserables? And
Oh, we're working on that. We'll get back to MTV Entertainment or something to get that music video ready.
well, it'll be a full publication about a musical about the coronavirus, a story in 2 parts.
I think they already have a
deranged
musical
insanity of someone who was locked in their house for 2 weeks.
No,
This
I
is
think they're
my
actually
musical.
though.
I think aren't we on like the second or third week now?
I mean, I'm
Weird.
not even in a lockdown yet, so yeah.
All good. Alright, item number 3. The beginning of the year, start growing plants, okay. Then, does your distro have a finished thesis? Okay. Find the joy of exercising and raise your sweat to the surface. Work out alone for a run in the fresh air or try a toilet paper exercise. Is
Wait,
this
what?
what people are spending their hundreds of dollars on the fabled toilet paper for? A toilet paper fitness
Workout.
program.
What?
What?
Okay,
How?
if you can
Who
even get
exercises
toilet
with toilet paper?
Oh, I mean, some people have to start somewhere, and that's probably about all they can lift.
Soy boys.
Oh my goodness.
Well, he did say there's some funny ideas, so,
Oh, at least they're
Okay.
being humorous about it, trying to stay upbeat.
There's
Wow.
better ones. There's
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
there's one that's golden.
Oh, there's more.
Okay.
Let's go through them bit by bit. Review the photos from your phone. Okay. Go through your wardrobe with the time and thought. Okay. Take care of those clothes. Okay. What about last? Yep. You can also use unhurried moments for sex. Try making lubricant yourself.
What?
Wait, what did that say? After
What?
that, take care of the
You
clothes,
can
fasten
try
these buttons,
making your own lube.
plug. Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Plug the nipples and fix the holes. What is that?
Come on, honey, we're gonna use motor oil tonight.
What is that?
What Hey, I never said this
Wait, is
translation
that a
service was
translation
perfect.
Is that a translation error? I hope it is, because that's weird.
Okay,
What does
look,
that
I'm
even mean?
running this on Microsoft Translator. Let me see if Google gives you a different result.
What the heck? What is...
Delivery.
It's the pins. Okay.
We're gonna mix
Okay.
butter,
I
lard,
have so many questions.
motor oil. But this time we're using used motor oil.
Next time, let's use bacon grease.
Okay. Well, that happened. What the hell?
And I wonder what what was on the minds of the Finns, really.
This is what happens when you put people who have nothing to live for in their own house.
I mean,
what the heck?
you're better off making your own, sanitizer.
Yeah, well, now they're using prison labor in New York for that.
180 proof.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
let's get some Everclear.
Yeah, well, they're basically mixing large amounts of alcohol and aloe, and they're doing like in the prison system here in America, like that. They're doing that.
Yeah, I heard that's also not true.
It's not true that they're making hand sanitizer in prison because
That's what I heard. I heard that was actually nonsense.
Nope, they're doing it. They are doing it now.
I can't get over the lubricant. I can't get over the lubricant.
All right. Homemade lubricant. It's a good way to start your own home business from home.
That's what they said? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but they did say you can try making your own lubricant. If you're bored in the quarantine, try having sex. So they say.
Even try making your own lubricant. It was like a tag-on point.
They had some good ideas, like organize your photos, grow some food. Like that sounds like some reasonable.
They had some good ideas and some that are just complete and utter nonsense.
Yeah, pluck the nipples apparently.
Come here.
That was
We're gonna see how lubricant
blame
is.
Yeah, blame Microsoft, okay?
Yeah, that was funny.
I hate this quarantine.
All right, so now we're gonna hit the golden idea that the Finnish media suggested.
Oh, this is great because I actually I have a comment for this.
Develop your own fursona and become a fursuiter, i.e., the person who made the animal mascot costume.
Yep,
that's it.
But legitimately, we're gonna see like 30 Finnish conventions pop up next year. There's going to be all these Finnish freaking conventions just out of nowhere. Just Finland becomes furry.
Yeah, they actually linked to an article on this too. It's because by the order of the state media, everybody shall be mandated to have a fursona and a fursuit.
Okay. Yep. Wow. So
Finland is literally going to become furry.
Out of everything, they could possibly say.
Like proper
Finnish
intellectuals.
media is telling people to just become a furry. Wow. Okay, Finland has lost it.
Yeah, so we're gonna translate this article that the media's got, their state media's got up and running. This first segment says, fursuiters. Last spring there were 2 of them. Now there are 20 of them.
I'm trying to imagine.
They're multiplying.
I'm trying to imagine Kimi Räikkönen dressed up like a fox. And if you don't know who that is, he's a Finnish Formula 1 racer.
I mean, the rallies are going to be hectic, So there's that too.
All right, so this is straight from the Finnish media.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next,
Finland needs to become furry.
Because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah. So now this next item is basically about, what is this fursuit made of? Right, so I got the translation loaded up. What is this fursuit made of?
Oh boy.
There's, what is this fursuit called Miko made of? 1 hour, what is 1 hour of foot pause, 2 hours of hand pause, 7 hours of foot, 10 hours of characters. That's what it's made of.
Right, yeah, I wish fursuits were made that fast. I don't think so. Not in the real world.
I don't think so, yeah.
Gotta wait several months.
Yeah, you got all these waiting lists, you got all these payments plans, and so on and so on.
Well, I mean, given that some people are going to be trapped in their house, potentially for a month or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
if you have absolutely nothing else to do for, 10, 12 hours a day, why not?
Right? Just become a furry.
Just become a furry and make your own fursuit just in a day. Just rock it all out in a day.
And a lot of the reason why you wait several months for a suit to come in is because there's people in front of you that are still being worked on.
Yeah. Of course, supply issues. You have to get all the right colors and everything.
Yep.
All right.
I would
So-
say an actual fursuit would probably take 2 to 3 weeks of like working as if it was like a full-time job.
Some people can make partials in a month, but come on.
But the,
Yeah.
Just depends on how many
having-
hours in a day they put into it. If
Yeah,
you work
it-
at it for 12, 13 hours a day, you could probably do it.
Also depends on
Yeah.
how good you sew and other stuff like that. Because if
yeah, true.
if you're like a seamstress or something, and you can just like hammer out stitches, you might be able to rock out a head in a day or two. Me,
Well,
it would
that's
me, it would
just
ta-
for
me, it
her.
would take me like 2.5 months because I have giant frickin' meat hooks for hands. So
I have little Trump hands.
All right,
not
so here's
really,
the next
It's
next
small.
item on this thingo. Turtles originate in the early 20th century of American cartoon culture. They came to Finland at the turn of the millennium. So you're telling me Teenage
Wait,
Mutant
turtles?
Ninja Turtles? That's what they're
I'm-
implying.
I'm guessing
Teenage
it's-
Mutant Ninja Turtles was what caused the
Okay.
furry wave in Finland.
So the turtles came to America, and then they came to Finland, and that was it for Finland. When the turtles came in,
Everything
What the
changed
hell?
when the Turtle Nation attacked.
I'm guessing that there's also Google Translate or Microsoft Translate errors that
I hope they
Big-
said turtles because that's really funny. Well, they were talking about the turtles. Like what's that like safety video about like a nuclear bomb with that turtle with the helmet on? I forgot what his name is, but like it's like this famous like Cold War era type of thing, and it was like a pretty big deal back then. The turtle guy.
Well, yeah, you were just a duck under your desk if a nuclear bomb went off, because that's going to save you.
Yeah, it was a duck and cover. It was like a song for it.
All right. So now this next one, of course, they describe the 4 girls who make these fursuit heads, and it says they discovered furry through YouTube and TikTok, like in true Generation Z fashion.
They just
Wait.
discovered it.
I'm noticing a trend. Is the Finnish language just add essa and issa to everything?
It's
Take
complicated. TikTok is the
YouTube is ja TikTok is. What?
it's like a
Okay.
weird mix of like you take some German, you take some Russian, you take some English, and you mix it in a mixing bowl and throw it on a wall and see what sticks.
YouTube essa, ja TikTosa.
It looks more
Okay.
Russian than it does German, and I think a lot of that has to do with I think during World War One or World War Two, whatever it was, they were at war with Russia, and Russia occupied them for a little bit. So that could be part of the reason why.
I don't
Maybe.
think that's long enough to change a language. I think it's
Yeah, but look at the Polish
language.
language. They were formed after World War One, and their language is pretty close to German, from my understanding.
Polish is a good cross between German and Russian,
Yeah, it's like it right in the middle there.
and that's literally geographically right where they are.
Yeah, yeah, literally.
Next one is this. Is this little bit here? First you have to
Wait,
design
what?
a persona that is. What kind of fursuit comes from, what it likes, what kind of character it has. Okay, yeah, about that. Look at the picture. What it likes. Why does somebody have to be obliged to put the gay flag in the reference?
And they're
I have no
5.
idea.
They're 5
Wait,
years
that's not
old.
even gay. That's guy. He's a guy.
Well, that looks
Yeah.
like it's in. That looks like it's written in Finnish, so I could say God knows what, unless you translate it.
Oh yeah, it could be gay in Finnish. It probably is.
Yeah, that whole
Really?
ref sheet is written in Finnish, so it's probably what it
It's
is.
literally like half and half language. Is it trying to say gay, or is it trying to say guy, or is it trying to say rainbow flag, and then connect the
Why
dots
does it
together?
have Sony look reminds me of something?
Wait,
And
What's that
there's,
on?
there's English in there as well. Name, age, color.
why am I concerned that the age is 5
Because
and
that-
the
that's
guy
weird.
is apparently gay?
It may be
Like-
animal ages or whatever, but for the sake of it, that's just
Oh,
let's just
Yeah,
give that one a
Roger
wide
actually
berth.
looks a little bit too good.
Let's give that one a wide berth for the sake of it.
Yeah. Okay, so wait.
Next
was
one
this all
is
in that
this.
same article.
Yeah, we're still on the same article, so here's the next
That's-
bit.
Wow.
Because
This is all a state-approved article.
They're really going hard about this whole furry thing.
Yeah,
I thought it was just
it's just gone through. It's a pictorial, written a story told in pictures. This one tells you
Oh my goodness.
it needs hot glue, hair, mesh, soft silk, clay tape, and lots of motivation.
Emphasis on the
Wow.
lots of motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise, how are you gonna make your suit done, right?
Yep.
That or you're
Hot
gonna
glue
be
gun is a
so
lifesaver.
bored, you're just gonna be like, I want to do something.
I'm already at that
Oh.
point.
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
only
here's
2
the
days
next-
in.
Yeah, here's the next one.
That's yeah. I've already seen some of the TikTok creations that people have made in.
Well, these girls are, there's more of it there, but here's the next bit. This one here describes girls buy supplies online and at flea markets. American hair is expensive.
I think that's supposed to say fur. That's probably not a
Yeah.
literal
Like,
translation.
distributors.
Probably importing it from America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get the basic message here.
I know it's this thing was lost in translation. Most definitely, it's
Because I highly doubt people
don't get me
buying
wrong.
wholesale.
Don't get me wrong. Furs are expensive. Like some
Yeah.
some
They
Even
are.
furs
fake
are
stuff.
crazy expensive, and then there's
I'm
others
kind
that
of
are.
curious. Has anyone ever used horsehair in their fursonas? Like horsehair, like literally horsehair.
I think that's kind of a black horse topic.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, something that
sure.
you don't use real hair
you don't?
unless it's like your own.
Gotcha.
Yeah, most of the fur that they use, it's like a plastic sort of
It's faux
composite.
fur. It's polyester. It's like
Yeah.
that's basically what it is. It's thin strands of plastic in the form of a hair.
Okay, it's pretty much
I
fake
mean,
then. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
That's why it
it's-
doesn't actually feel like fur. It feels like
That's also why technically you could be theoretically fire safe in a fursuit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I
okay.
guess
Yeah,
that's
but
what it
plastic
says.
plastic
Uh,
burns pretty well though. I mean, it
Yeah.
melts, but at the same time,
Yes,
like,
but the furs in a lot of faux fur that they use in fursuits actually doesn't conduct flame.
oh really?
okay, that
But
makes sense.
it'll melt to you.
It will melt the fur, but the underlying layers of the fur actually won't melt because if it's
Oh.
long enough. So it's
Okay.
basically like it would basically turn into like an insulating layer, kind of like what they use. Well, I'm gonna go nerd, so I'm not gonna say that on live stream because basically it's like the space shuttle reentry blocks. It burns
Okay,
the
that
outer
makes
layer,
sense.
but the inner layer stays cool.
I gotcha.
I gotcha. That makes sense.
We're still speaking on the topic of fur. The Finnish do it a little differently. This one says the Finnish coat is harder. The hair has also been trimmed from its own coat, so it's
Okay.
Are they saying
Yeah.
to butcher up your own actual
But
coat?
it looks like that person's either cutting up like a pair of pants or a coat or a pillowcase or.
Yeah.
I mean, they do what they got to do to improvise. Remember, they get this stuff
Actual
from flea
hide.
markets.
Yeah, I mean, if you get like 4 pillows that have enough fur to make like a head for $10, yeah, that's a super cheap way to get into fursuiting. But it's not going to be the best materials, but it's super cheap.
I just can't believe how far they went in this article to really
Yeah,
drive it home that this is what you have to do. This is crazy.
they're giving like a step-by-step guide so that people can
Yeah.
actually legitimately join in after this is
Yeah.
all over.
Oh my god.
Hey,
I
listen,
mean,
if they got conventions in Finland, I'll get on a plane and fly out to Finland for one of them.
Oh yeah, I mean, we
Well,
had
that's
to.
the thing. There's going to be them now because the state media is like, hey, you can become a furry. Everyone's like, what's this? Oh, I can do
Yeah.
something? I'm going to make this.
You know how
there's
insane
people
those
who will
conventions are
talk
going to
to
be
me?
too? Those conventions are going to be off the friggin' chain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Now here's the next one. This is a picture of a bear, and the translation is: "This hobby has its victims. What was the last day when this teddy bear saw the light?
Okay.
Oh,
That's a little
Press
dark.
F to pay respects."
yeah, that's
Oh my goodness.
That's some Fs. That's some Fs.
that's
in the chat.
morbid.
Yeah.
This hobby has victims. Look at this poor teddy bear. He hasn't been outside in so long.
Your only
It's flushy
friend for the
abuse, I tell
quarantine is
you.
now dead.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how they come up with this, but oh wow.
They're accurate at least.
Yeah, I suppose.
Now this one is a bit of a lost in translation, but it does say that they estimate that there's 1,000 furries in Finland, and a quarter of them, give or take, own fursuits. I gotta say, it's growing, and by the time this article's become made its rounds,
Finland knows what's up.
I want to point out that that fursuit head does not have eyes yet,
That's
and
a work in
B,
progress.
it has a the nose ring thing, which is a weird
No.
trend that I don't understand.
Also, look at the background of like what's going on in the mirror. It's kind of spooky.
Someone's stacking heads on someone.
So, they're literally.
Oh, yeah, what in the world is going on back
It's the
there?
furry Cerberus.
I don't know.
Instead of getting the crowns, they're putting on.
Hey! Hypothetical question: is it possible to make a Cerberus head, a wearable Cerberus head that
With as developed
someone-
as animatronics are getting, yes.
I think so.
I feel like that'd be really heavy though.
I believe a suit maker, Elkcraft, is making or has a Cerberus character in their pipeline, but I don't know the status of it. I think it was an adoptable or something like that, or it was off at an auction. I don't know what became of that or if anyone bid for it, but I do think it's in their pipeline if it's not done yet.
Well, hopefully they make the heads on the side a little bit lighter than the one in the middle, because that's I mean, not that the heads are particularly heavy, but when you got them out on either side of you, I mean that could weigh you down a little bit.
Yeah, I think
Now just
haven't
make it a
seen it
quad suit,
recently.
and then your back will really love you.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, quad suits are cool though.
They
Like, if
are,
they're
but I
done
can
right.
only imagine how horrible you must feel after like an hour of suiting.
Yeah, probably not the best, but they do look
Hmm.
pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah. Here's the next one. This one is gonna be like, and it makes you wonder where on earth did they get this information from? And this is to do with art. This one says, when ordered, the drawing costs 60 euros. The suits between 200 or to 20,000 euros.
I don't know about that too.
Now, what's the exchange from euro to?
Let's say
US
about,
dollar.
give or take,
Like
15%.
Yeah, I think the euro is actually like a little bit stronger than a dollar. So like $400
one-
to
Yeah, it's like
$40,000.
Actually, I think I have
Actually,
a
not
currency
even
converter
like
on
it's
my
more
phone.
like 60 euros would translate to about, let's say, 70 sort of US dollars. So
Well, no,
So, I mean, that's not.
That's not
I mean,
too far
20,000, I guess, for like a high quality suit. Like I would compare that to probably like a Sparky Can Do suit, because those will run you like 10 grand.
Yeah, those
I mean,
run 10 grand like easy.
Sparky
Yeah,
can do.
Luminix told me what
Never
he
heard of
spent on
that.
his first suit, and I wanted to smack
You've
him. Like,
never
what are
heard
you
of
thinking?
Sparky Can Do? You need to look up Sparky Can Do. Those are
I think like
she
Phoenix
makes
will
great
auction the-
suits.
I think Phoenix will auction the suit for like 10 grand.
Yeah,
I've never
like
seen these suits in my life. Oh, I know that.
like auction suits
Character.
from like good makers. Like they'll easily run 7 grand.
I mean, yeah, you could get a suit for like a quarter of the price.
I mean,
To be fair, I got my suit for $1,000. So
I know exactly who I'm gonna go with for my suit whenever I decide on that. Or
Yeah, mine's under construction right now. I got a partial. It's 2,300, I think. I think it's 23.
Yeah.
Mm,
I'm planning to go with Elk
So-
Dragon.
This one,
okay.
okay, this next bit is a quote from the makers. I mean, the translation's not iffy, but it says, "I wouldn't have the motivation for another, or I would for the money." And it's for, I've got one for the money. and it's from 2 different makers in there. Which is it? I mean, fursuits
Well, I think-
make you great money, but
I think what he's saying is, I normally wouldn't have the motivation to do another, but for money, I would.
Yeah,
I think
I
that's what
can
he's trying
kind
to
of
say.
understand that being what they're going for, but it is a little lost in translation.
My brain broke.
Yeah, that's why I hate using Google Translate, because it does a literal translation. It doesn't do what it actually says.
Like an interpretive translation.
Yeah, it's a literal translation, not an interpretive. That's the word I was looking for.
all right. Now this next one translates to. I'm sure that everybody who's tried to make a fursuit has burnt their fingers at least once.
Oh, I burned my
I'm
hand
only
on glue
gonna
guns
say
multiple
what
times without
everyone
making
is
first.
thinking. I'm gonna just say what everyone's thinking. She looks really young to be making a fursuit. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
looks like
no
she's probably about
way.
like 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah.
There's no
Maybe
way she's
12,
doing
but
that.
still.
Come on now.
I mean, that's kind of the only way that a
Still
lot of
got
miners
clothes,
can actually
picture.
even make suits or get suits. To be honest, because a lot of makers won't even touch people who are minors.
Well, it's not a good idea because, like, let's say you're 10 years old and you're gonna grow out of your suit in like what, a year and a half, maybe
Yeah.
2 years. Like, it's not gonna last.
Oh well, I just
That's
spent
not the maker's
$800 on a
problem,
head.
though.
And
No, it's not
they're
the maker's
like,
problem, but,
hey,
like-
I have a credit card that I borrowed from my mama's purse. I want to buy this. Why
No.
this charge of $3,000 per on my credit card statement? I don't know, mama.
Yeah, that could be some pretty risky territory.
Yeah, I
Talking
think
about
that's
thousands of
why
dollars.
makers
That-
won't touch
That's
the
why a
minor
lot of
unless
makers
their
are like,
parents,
nope.
unless their
Yeah,
parents reach out to them,
irresponsible.
because like you'll see minors at conventions that have them, but it's probably
Yeah,
because the
but-
parents did it.
Yeah.
Because their parents are like, I will sign whatever you want me to sign because I have disposable income that I want to spend on my child. It's ridiculous amounts of disposable income in cases.
Well, it's not even really disposable, because you think, like, I think about the things I had when I was a kid. Like, my parents spent several $1,000s on us when we were like between the go-kart and the go-peds and the video game systems and the bikes and like all this other stuff we had. It's like,
But a lot of that you don't ever really outgrow.
Yeah,
the
that's
bikes
true.
you outgrow pretty friggin' fast when you're young.
Not if you're one of those kids who takes the brakes off and puts the BMX frickin' things on it and rides like a 3-year-old's bike.
Yeah, but the BMX bikes are built to sustain the weight. Those tiny little bikes you get for a toddler aren't.
Right.
Because BMX
Now-
bikes are normally made out of composite material, not crappy
Yeah.
aluminum.
See, the thing is, a lot of people here around where I am, they're just like, I'm just gonna bend the handlebars and remove the brakes and put pegs on it.
Yeah, brilliant idea. Remove the
My-
brakes. Okay.
My brain is still stuck on how a fursuit maker can charge effectively the cost of a goddamn car.
It just depends on the quality.
That's
And a
just-
lot of it's the name too. Like what Sparky can do. It's like, yeah, she makes great fursuits, but it's like a BMW. You're paying for the name as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sparky can do suits. You're automatically paying $3,000 for the name. Like she literally takes one suit a year.
And she has
one
like
open.
she has a unique clientele too, because the clientele that she gets, they're people that have money. They're not guys like us.
YouTubers.
I'd like to have money, but yeah, that doesn't happen
no.
for me.
You gotta be
plebeians.
practical with your money.
People that have money that are not afraid to spend it on something trivial like a fursuit.
Yeah,
That's what I should say.
someone who
I'm not
makes
gonna drop $5,000
way
on a suit
more
like
than
that.
they
No.
Come on.
ever would need. Like
That's
they
crazy.
make like 20 times their rent and they just don't care.
All right. All right.
Oh,
So-
like Xavier Fox, the dude with the tanks.
Well, yeah, he did $30,000 for a tank. Yeah, woohoo!
If I had disposable income, I'd buy a Hellcat. I don't care. The Hellcat
Hell
tank,
yeah,
not
I
the
want a
car.
tank. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want a tank.
Anyway,
Cool.
so we're gonna skip ahead from this article because the next bits are, a little bit trivial. But here's the next bit that I wanted to show. This one translates to the most famous events for hobbyists are Anthrocon USA and Eurofurence Germany. Thousands of people participate, so they know what's.
I feel this
what's
article is out of
beyond the
date.
sea.
Wow, Finland is really pushing this.
I mean,
Oh,
MFF's
okay.
more like the big deal anymore.
Yeah, but I don't think they want to send them to suffer from the long queues at the registration line.
That's true.
Yeah, I got to figure that out.
They haven't solved that, and it's only, I think the problem propagated even worse last year than the
It
year
did.
I was there.
Oh yeah, it did.
Like 2018, I was super lucky because I saw this huge line in the convention center. I'm like, hey, what's this? This is the Reg line. Oh, I'm getting in this. I don't care if I'm in suit. I'm getting in this. And that was a mistake, by the way.
Wow.
See, when I was first getting into furry and everything, Anthrocon was only at about like 6,000 attendees, and they were the biggest in the world still. And I was just like, I want to go there one day. And now, years later, fuck, it's like the attitude is, oh, Anthrocon, old news, MFF.
Anthrocon is still pretty big, and I think it's a better convention than MFF.
I'm still hoping to make it to Anthrocon, but with this whole virus thing, probably not.
It might be
Well,
closed or can't.
Yeah,
we still got a couple of months for them to figure that out.
They posted
So we'll
that
see.
they're not making any plans right now, but they're going to keep everyone updated. So
Well, Kage said himself, listen, the convention's still 4 months away. We don't know what he's like.
We
For
don't
all
know
we
what's
know,
gonna
this could be
happen
all turned
tomorrow.
around. Yeah, exactly. You can't predict what's gonna happen 4 months from now.
like FWA, I think FWA canceled.
Yeah.
Because that's in the beginning of May, and like everybody knows, and like some of these
Yeah.
places they got these
May-
quarantines in effect
yeah.
until May. So
May is like when they're saying the highest like hospitalizations are going to be they're saying by April it's going to be the highest infection rate.
yeah, that's where
Late
they're
April.
assuming like the end of April is where it's gonna peak.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go to FWA this year, but I had to cancel my flight because
Yeah,
that's just it now.
I registered for it, but I'm not gonna try and go through the hassle of getting my money back. It was $60. I don't care. They can keep it.
It's like, yeah, you can. That's my thing. Like, if you registered for it and you're not going to make it, and you end up like not going to even end up down there, you're just like, just keep it. It's not worth the hassle. Because a lot of conventions are like, no, you're not going to get a refund because we don't do refunds. We only pass over if it's beyond this date. So it's just like, whatever, you can keep it. I'm not
Yeah.
going to bother.
So FWA is giving refunds though.
Yeah, like all the conventions that canceled or postponed,
they're forwarding it across the next year. But-
they're like, hey, we'll roll it over. You can
Yeah,
donate
they
it
do
to
that,
us,
like-
or if you really, really want, you can refund.
Yeah, they
Oh.
can keep it. If they want to roll it to next year, great. Then I'll just use it for next year. But I'm not going to sit there and be like, hey, I want my $60 back. Like, I don't care.
All right, so we're gonna conclude this article because we're running a little short on time. All things considered, can't have this.
Well, and running a little over.
I know it's okay, but because because of beer virus, we can I think we may be running a little longer this year. But here's the last bit that we're gonna skip through to. It literally says that's cringy in the translator. That's cringe. It's cringe.
That's hysterical.
That is crazy. So,
Wait, what?
I mean, literally, their video is quite cringy.
Are they doing Fortnite dances?
Is that really what it says?
It literally says that's cringy. Yes, it does.
well, it kind of makes sense for what they're doing.
Wait, why would they go
They're
through the
doing
trouble?
Are they
TikToks.
trying to do the Macarena?
promoting this?
I have no idea.
They're not.
It looks like Fortnite dances.
They're doing
It is
TikToks on
pretty
this stuff. It's disgraceful.
Wait, so they just went through this whole article, really promoting all this, and then at the end they're just like, by the way, this is totally cringe. Well, what?
Yeah, that is a good promotion. That is.
Well, it's
Okay.
also something that we don't know the actual context of all the posts. They might be like sarcastic,
I don't know. Finland is weird.
but furries are cringy. Furries are very cringy.
That goes without
Yeah.
saying. But at the end of it, though, look at it. This is the promotion that we have for the. If you're finished, you can be free. You can get yourself a suit. You can get this, and then you can be totally cringy on TikTok. Win-win, because you were literally, sitting at home doing quarantine.
It doesn't sound like a win.
Wow.
It sounds like a complete loss.
I digress.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
What crazy times we live in.
I know, right? Like, and now we can imagine and see what the Finnish are going to come up with in the next few years.
And what we're going to see is literally like I feel that if this gets a lot of traction, which I doubt, But if it gets a lot of traction, there's going to be at least one Finnish con next year.
They already have one, Fin for Animus. They might have a second one if it's going to get a lot of traction.
Well, yeah, because I
Oh,
bet a lot of
cool.
them are like they're like really small cons.
Oh, for now.
But yeah, I mean, there were 2 Finns that flew over down here to Aussie land for Purdue, man, last year. So that's something.
Wow, that's a
must-
long distance.
Yeah, it's commitment, right?
That is a long distance, yeah. What is it, like a 12-hour flight?
That's almost as bad as what I would have to do.
I'd have to freaking fly to Dubai and then go to, take a few stopovers to get there.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
So,
Really?
yeah. It's a challenge, but it's a challenge I'm willing to take if the circumstances were right.
Oh, I only
yeah.
have to go to Dubai. It's only like the airport to like be seen at for whatever reason.
Yeah, no big deal. It's all good.
Yeah.
You can watch all the lone A380s frickin' be out on the tarmac. The only ones that'll be left.
Yeah, they are pretty blingy and flashy, but yeah. But speaking of air stuff, Cross, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry that this is the time we've run out on. I did get to read the stuff you sent me. I'd love to talk about this maybe another time. But yeah, I guess this is it for this week. I know we really dragged things out, but hey, what's a little bit of about things to keep us sane and laughing at this crazy that's going on in this world.
I mean, to be fair, we didn't drag it out too long. It's only 20 minutes extra.
Yeah, I guess you're right there, and because people's got this extra time because of the beer virus.
Oh, someone died.
Man,
was
we
alright.
are-
Here.
No.
All No, in tribute to his death, we shall play. You shall give you the orange theme.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just kidding. Nah, Avier is not dead. Or
Oh,
is he?
sorry, no, for some reason it just crashed. I don't know what happened.
That's all good though. We're just wrapping up at this moment. We just played the orange theme while you vanished in tribute for your
no.
supposed death.
No, you did. Oh, come on. I had to leave that second. Oh, come on. That's not cool.
Well, you're not dead.
That was our F for respects. We used the orange theme.
Okay.
It was the death and resurrection show.
Yeah.
Avira has died. Avira has risen. Avira will come again.
Oh my goodness.
Ah, well, I digress. So we'd like to close up for the time being. Is one by one. Who's got any closing statements for the week? Anyone?
Stay
Hey.
colorful.
Stay the fuck inside.
Stay safe, stay healthy, stay well.
Practice drawing. Like I
Yeah.
have.
Good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right there. So, but there's another couple of things as well here and there. A couple of live comments too that I've got to catch up on. Loz says, sorry for not rostering, blah, blah, blah. I have an upgrade to my existing suit that'll cost us 50 grand. Oh my, but yeah, burn your fingers with a lava gun. See what happens.
Oh,
Been there.
Was
It sucks.
is one of the guys who has the flame retardant fursuit. Like, it won't burn. It's pretty cool.
Well, he's already flame proof. Here's the
Yeah.
next one. Jack Dab. Corona furs, a new generation of furries.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
All right.
How accurate that is.
And of course, here's another one. Ori Alkali. Welcome to watching the show. Not saying I tried it, but I hear the most industrial lubricants cause irritations. And you know what the Finnish did say? They suggest, making your own lubricants.
God, can we not?
Well, it's the Finns. I'm pretty sure they've had worse stuff.
My goodness.
But like the meme says, the best lubricant is natural, baby.
Well,
No.
the things
No.
people come up with while they're in quarantine, hey? I'm not saying you should take up their ideas, except for, of course, maybe, making your own fursona. But, hey. And all the other sensible ideas they come up with, but yeah.
Lubricant.
Hey.
That's going to be one that's going to last for a long time, huh? All right, so
Here it is.
this will be it for the week, wouldn't it? If you're right, right? Anyway,
Yeah, well, this is some pretty bonkers times we live in. Just stay
Yes, it
home,
is.
stay safe, and take the Finnish government's advice and pluck your nipples. So
Lubricant.
everything will be fine.
well, do that and take their advice to become your own fursona again.
Absolutely,
Speaking of which,
sure.
I know it's to this day. It's been a month since I've worn my fursuit.
Oh gosh.
Only
that-
a month?
that's-
Well, I haven't either because all the bowling meets that I go to, they're all closed. So I can't even.
Why?
go back.
Why? Squish? Have you
See,
seen
I'm
that
gonna be the
Squish message?
loser who gets their suit and just sits around their house with fursuit.
Oh Jesus
No.
Christ! Yes, what did Scorch say? I guess the
Just-
Finns still haven't figured out how to mix J lube into jelly.
Scorch,
goodness,
shut up.
Scorch. Oh God, why?
Oh,
Why?
God, Big Jelly, why?
Dude.
Why? Don't say
I
that.
don't
Scorch,
want to use
why?
jelly this time.
I hate furries. I hate them. I swear to God, I hate them.
It's still
Big
sticky
Jelly,
up
wow.
there.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
funny.
Then I hope.
Thanks, Seba.
Yep. Thanks to everyone who tuned in. I hope you've been, taking care of yourself. Hope you enjoyed making the show as much as we did from the confines of our own home because of quarantine. And of course, our episodes are available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, more platforms later on. And if you end up in quarantine, please consider giving our show a listen to because there is easily over 100 hours worth of content to keep you occupied. This is us signing off for the week. Farewell, and until next time.
Bye.
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 All right. Good night.